Today we're going to make a raised garden bed, a planter box, however you want to call it. So we have 1x4s that are 4 foot long. We have a 2x4s that are 6 foot long. We have saws, we have drills, we have other material that I'll be explaining throughout the process. But let's get to work. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab those 2x4s that are 6 foot long and just cut them exactly in half, 3 feet. This is going to be the legs of the raised bed. So you're going to want to make sure that all of them are exactly 3 feet so that you don't go off balance or anything. When you're all done, you should have 4 3-foot long 2x4s. You're going to screw one of the 4-foot boards to one of your 2x4s that you just cut that are 3 foot long. After you screw that in, you're going to make an L shape. You're going to grab one of your 2-foot cuts of your 1x4s and put it so it makes an L around that 2x4. And what you're going to do now, this is kind of gives you the base of how the top of this bed is going to look. Now just work your way around using the same method to make the rest of this rectangle for your bed. Those 3-foot 2x4 cuts are going to be your legs. The 4-foot are going to go the long way across, where the shorter sides are going to be your 2-foot cuts of 1x4s. And after you're all settled, you should have a nice rectangle size bed of just at least that. And now we got to do the rest. This next part is nice and easy. You don't have to do any cuts. You're going to grab those 4-foot long 1x4s and you are going to place them right underneath the other ones, going downwards now, down your legs of the raised garden bed. And I like to put at least 2 screws in each one to make sure it's nice and secure. And we're just going to do this. After you get the one side done, you're going to just repeat. Go ahead and go to the other side. That will make your height and the depth of your raised garden beds. Now the next thing that you got to do is you got to grab those 4-foot long 1x4s. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure it out to 2 feet, cut those directly in half. You're going to have to cut 2 of those, so you should end up with 4 pieces of 2-foot 1x4s. And you're going to take those pieces and you're going to do the very same thing that we just did with the other ones, going down, making a row of 3 of each one. Repeat, do it to the other side until you now have your complete rectangle of how this depth of this bed is going to go all the way around. Now we got to start working on the base. Sometimes when you're working, your helpers go on break. Working on the bottom of this bed, the next thing that you got to do is we got to flip our garden bed upside down. So if you have screwed everything sturdy enough, it should not fall apart. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab 3 of our 4-foot long 1x4s and we are going to cut each one directly in half once again. So we should end up with 6 pieces of 2-foot long 1x4s. And this is going to help our base. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place them evenly spaced apart along our base, screw them in, and you should leave a little bit of space in between each board, whether it's like a length of the board space, however you want. Enough to make sure that it goes across the whole entire thing though. And obviously you won't be able to put soil through this right now because it would fall right through. So what you want to do is you're going to get cloth wiring. There will be little squares. We like to try to use the smallest ones, but I just had some scrap one laying around. But go ahead and pick the size that you want. The smaller the better. You're going to want to buy the one that's 2 foot tall, so that you can make sure that it's just going to be a seamless fit across. Bend it in there. Make sure you press it down inside there, and then you're going to staple it to the wood around, and this will give an extra support for when we go to put the dirt in. And this is what's going to allow, when you water, that it's not going to just get trapped inside the bed, but it's going to also give you stability to make sure it strengthens it enough to hold more of the soil as well. The next thing that you have to do is you're going to grab a weed barrier. And the weed barrier is going to be that last final touch. It allows water to go through, but it's going to make sure it catches all the soil to make sure that none falls in. If you get a 2-foot one, you might need a little bit extra. So we used a 3-foot long one, and this allows us to go up on the sides, staple that all the way across as well, cut it to the right size, and then you should be left with a finished raised garden bed by the time that this is all done and it is ready for planting. And just like that, you will have a raised, elevated garden bed that you can start planting in right this second. All you have to do is fill this up with some soil, whatever kind that you want, plant some seeds of anything that you like to eat, and you will have this ready to go for yourselves. This one right here will not be for us. We are going to gift this one to my mother. But here we are. You can see all this is very sturdy. We use that cloth wiring and this weed barrier. This will help hold the soil inside this bed, but also will allow it to drain just enough so that you're not getting trapped. You're not trapping the water in here and the soil staying too wet. This will allow it to be just right. And as you can see, it's pretty simple. I don't like making projects harder than they have to be. By using this and making it 2x4 feet, we are able just to use 4-foot boards, cutting them exactly in half or not having to cut these long ones here at all. And I hope that this video is nice and informative for you guys so that you guys can go out and make one of these today. All you gotta do now is fill this with the soil of your choice. Get some seeds of anything that you want to grow, whether it be flowers or whether it be vegetables. Don't have to go to the store, and you can just go in your backyard, pick what you want. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day and a better tomorrow, and God bless you guys. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others.